Being a product manager in a startup can be stressful, but also highly rewarding, and it comes with many skills to level up quickly. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Teresa and I'm a product director based in Melbourne, Australia. And on this channel, we explore strategies and tools that keeps inspiring us to keep growing in our product career. Now, this is a 3-part of my 5-part series in which I'll share insights into all the different domains which I have worked as a product manager in the past 10 years. I'll take you through the ecosystem that the domain is made out of. What are the end users like? What are the common success key metrics you need to monitor? How are the teams set up? And how to overcome challenges that you may face along the way. So let's jump into the ecosystem. Number 1 is fast-paced environment. Now, startups operate in a fast-paced environment where agility and adaptability are essential. You'll need to prioritize ruthlessly and make quick decisions based on the limited information and be comfortable with ambiguity. This pace can be demanding but rewarding as you see your ideas come to life rapidly. Next is founder-led. Most likely you'll have founders who are still in the business and trying to establish the startup and trying to drive their growth through their vision. Unstructured roles and responsibilities. Although you may be hired as a product manager, however, lack of resources in the early stages means that you are required to wear multiple hats, from building a product backlog, customer interviews, to marketing comms and administrations for the company. Ultimately, the decisions are with the founders, where you'll provide recommendations based on your insights and work closely with them to prioritize the product backlog. Now, funding can also influence how a startup might operate. So there are 2 types of fundings. One is the bootstrap, which refers to starting or growing a business without external funding or investment. Essentially relying on the resources and revenue the business generates itself to fund its operations and expansions and development rather than seeking capital from investors or lenders. Now, this gives a startup greater control, flexibility, and independence, as well as potential to build a sustainable and profitable business over the long term. Invested funds. This can come from angel investors, venture capitalists, and other funding sources that provide financial capitals to startups in exchange for equity. This usually helps with accelerated growth, enable more resources being hired, and access to expertise and networks. This gives startup a faster growth, but does mean some of the equity and possibly decisions might be shared with other investors at the time. Now, the last is experiments and MVP, minimal viable product. Depending on the stage of the startup, conceptual, product market fit, or early stages, you'll be in a rhythm of experimentation and building out the first set of MVP that requires rapid iteration, testing, and learning. So what does the end user look like? Let's look at the technology adoption lifecycle model developed by Everest Rogers that describes the process by which new technologies are adopted and diffused within a population. Starting with the early market, where most startups are, we have the tech enthusiasts. Startup products in technology-driven industries often appeal to enthusiasts and professionals who are passionate about technologies and seek out innovation solution to improve their workflows, productivity, or personal lives that is divided into innovators or early adopters. Now, innovators are the first individual to adopt a new technology. They're typically adventurous, risk-taking, and eager to try out new inventions. Innovators often has a high tolerance for uncertainty and are willing to experiment with new ideas and products. For early adopters, many startup products initially attract tech-savvy early adopters, forward-thinking individuals eager to try out new technologies and innovations. These users are typically more willing to take risks and provide valuable feedback to help improve the product. Early majorities. As startup product gain attraction and credibility in the market, they begin to attract a broader audience, including the early majorities, pragmatic, risk-avert users who are more cautious in adopting new technologies but are willing to try them if they see benefit and positive reviews from the early adopters. We have the late majorities, consist of individuals who adopted technology only after the majority of the population has already done it so. And lastly, we have the laggers, are the final group to adopt new technologies, often doing so after it has become obsolete or outdated. However, if we focus back on the early markets, you can go deeper and identify end users to be such as entrepreneurs and small businesses. Many startup products cater to entrepreneurs, startup, freelancers, and small businesses looking for affordable, scalable solutions to streamline their operations, manage their finances, or enhance their online presence. A consumer seeking alternatives. In a consumer market, startup products may attract users looking for alternatives to established brand or traditional offerings. Now, these users may be drawn to unique features or value proposition or brand identity of startup products. Niche markets. Some startup products target niche or underserved markets that larger competitors may overlook. These niche markets can be defined by specific demographics, interest industries, or geographic regions, allowing startups to craft out a competitive advantage and build a loyal base customer. And lastly, we have the global audience. With the rise of digital platforms, the internet and many startup products have potential to reach an international audience from day one. This enables startups to tap into diverse markets, cultures, and customer segments, offering different opportunities for rapid growth and scalability. Now, to put all these into an example, when I worked in a startup, we had a business that was a two-sided marketplace for peer-to-peer cash currency exchange. We were trying to solve the problem of being overcharged or lack of transparency that comes with extra fees for exchanging foreign currency in cash. Now, being in a Melbourne-based company, we need to find customers who were travelers, early adopters, and cash-heavy society. So we landed on testing the market in Singapore, given there is an evolution of early adopter community happening with the startup in Singapore. They also understand the cash-based society given they are in the Southeast Asia region and is one of the top destinations that strategically located, being a favorable destination for high demand layovers. Next is getting deep into the type of travelers we were looking for, which focuses on budget travelers going into Asia where it's cash heavy and money savvy looking for a saving. So what are the common key metrics we are looking for during this phase? Well, obviously the common keys metrics can vary depending on the nature of the product, but here's some common ones that have worked for me. The first one is adoption rate, increasing the number of people using your product. You want more people to use your product to get more insightful feedback and learn about what it is and isn't working. Depending on how you're acquiring your customer, you may also look into customer acquisition cost. The cost of acquiring a new customer, including marketing, sales, and advertising expenses. Lower the cost of acquisition per customer indicates that it's efficient customer acquisition. The calculation of CAC is cost of sales plus cost of marketing over new customer acquired. Engagement. Active user is the number of users who interact with the product within a specific time frame. Could be daily, weekly, or monthly. Then we have user retention rate, the percentage of users who continue to use the product over time. The higher the retention indicates that the product is providing value and retaining users' interest. Session length and frequency, the average duration of a user's session and how often user engage with your product. The longer the session and higher frequency, the stronger the user engagement. Then we have conversion rate, the percentage of users who take a desired action on your product out of the total number of visitors. This action can vary depending on the context and goal of your product. Most common example includes a purchase, signing for a newsletter, filling out a form, or downloading a resource. Now we have the revenue metric. You may have to monitor these also, given that you want to ensure that the product is generating revenue at an early stage. We have monthly recurring revenue, is the predictable revenue generated from a subscription model-based pricing. Then we have the average revenue per user, the average amount of a revenue generated per user over a specific period. An increase in average revenue per user indicates improved monetization strategies or higher value customer. And lastly, we have the customer satisfaction and net promoter score, which measures the customer satisfaction and loyalty based on feedback and recommendation. A higher NPS score indicates greater customer satisfaction and likelihood to recommend the product to others. So how are the teams set up? Typically, teams in startups are pretty small. You may be the only product manager with a few engineers of 3 or 5, depending on the work, and may have one designer. So here's some challenges that you may face and how do you overcome them. Number 1 is the uncertainty and instability of startup. Startups operate in a dynamic and often unpredictable environment. Market conditions, customer preference, and industry trends can change rapidly, leading to uncertainty about the future and direction of the company. To overcome this, stay informed about the market trends and customer feedback. Regularly assess priorities and adjust strategies as needed to stay agile and responsive. Limited resources. Compared to large organizations, more established companies, smaller companies have limited financial resources and infrastructures. This means you need to wear multiple hats, take on additional responsibility, and work with limitations to achieve the goals. Leverage technology and automation tools to streamline processes and increase productivity. Seek creative solutions that require minimal financial investment. Lastly is the high workload and pressure. The fast-paced nature of startup often leads to high workload and tight deadlines. You may be required to work longer hours, juggle multiple projects, and simultaneously deliver results under pressure. Make sure you get organized and you get ruthless with your prioritization to find the most impactful work, which means tasks that you'll get you the most value. Rather than trying to do all the tasks and some tasks just does not even flow onto customer value. Example, there is no point in setting up multiple templates or starting to develop a product practice when you are the only product manager. Instead, look into speaking to customers regularly. Get your team involved so they're developing everything with the customer in mind and keep the backlog healthy and updated with new insights. If you find this video helpful or inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you would like to share your experience being a product manager in a startup, please share in the comments below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.